Today I will be showing you this amazing strategy that gives a lot of winning signals. This strategy made 86% win rate within 3 months. And at the end of this video, I will be back testing it 200 times. So just sit back and relax as we go into the video. Okay, this is the BTC United States dollar tether. And this strategy works well on the 15-min time frame. So, let's get into our trading strategy. The first indicator on our list will be the average true range. This is a perfect indicator. It's probably the #1 indicator that you should have in your trading system. So the next indicator is the half trend indicator. This one right here, by average it. And the last indicator will be the squeeze momentum oscillator by lazybear. So this is what our chart would look like. For this strategy, let's go ahead and make some adjustment on the indicators. So first of all, double click on the half trend. Go over to the input and change the amplitude to 14 and also channel deviation to 10. Now head over to the style and untick the ATR high and ATR low. Also untick the arrow up and arrow down. Go ahead and untick this last two options and click on the OK button. Now move over to the squeeze momentum and double click on it. I want you to change color 1 to red and color 3 to green. Go ahead and untick the plot before you click on the OK button, as we won't be touching the input setting. As for the ATR, we won't be changing anything. So let's quickly go over what this indicators will be doing before we move on with the strategy, as this will help you better understand the strategy. This half trend serves as our main confirmation indicator, as we will be using it to determine the general trend of the market. It is quite useful to know that it is a trend indicator based on ATR. It is similar to super trend indicator, but uses a different trend identification logic. That is why we are adding it to our chat. The red moving average shows when the market is on a bearish move, and the blue moving average shows a bullish movement in the market. Now, for the next indicator, we have the squeeze momentum indicator. The most popular indicator on TradingView by a genius script writer, lazybear. I personally love most of his indicators because they easily identify what's going on in the market. So make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit on the notification bell, because I have a lot of tricks on how to use his indicators for maximum profit and you wouldn't like to miss any. So for this indicator, we will be using it as our trade entry indicator, as it would be telling us when the right moment to enter a trade presents itself. You can see it is being displayed as a histogram, in which the green colors are bullish momentum, while the red colors are bearish momentum. Now for the ATR, I know a lot of you know what the ATR does. But for those still starting out trading, this indicator is based on average true range of a commodity. It calculates the average range of price in any given time. The current settings is at 14. So it would always tell us the range at which the last 14 candlestick has traded. This would help us identify our point of stop loss for any given trade. Now, let's go ahead and understand how this strategy works. For a buy signal to be valid, we want to see the moving average colored in blue as our first confirmation. Then we would want to see the price retrace and close below the blue line, without price wick touching the moving average. Then we would wait till we see our next green histogram on the squeeze momentum before we go ahead and place a buy order at the peak of the trigger candlestick. Now it doesn't matter if price is still below the moving average, as long as the moving average is still in blue and our squeeze momentum gives a green histogram. We would place the buy order at the peak of the trigger candlestick and set our stop loss at 1 times the ATR, while our profit will be 1.8 times the risk. Please note that trades are not taken at the beginning of a new trend, when the moving average confirm a new possible trend movement. Exactly the opposite is true for a short signal. For a sell signal to be valid, we want to see the moving average colored in red as our first confirmation. Then we would want to see the price retrace and close above the red line, without price wick touching the moving average. Then we would wait till we see our next red histogram on the squeeze momentum before we go ahead and place a sell order at the bottom of the trigger candlestick. And also, it doesn't matter if price is still above the moving average, as long as the moving average is still in red and our squeeze momentum gives a red histogram. We would place the sell order at the bottom of the trigger candlestick and set our stop loss at 1 times the ATR, while our profit will be 1.8 times the risk. Okay, now let me quickly go over some examples, so you would master how to use this strategy, as this will help you know what to actually look for. So here, we see that we are in a bearish trend. And we see opportunity that presented itself right here, as our MA is still in red. And the price has closed above the MA without touching the MA. We waited till we saw our sell entry at this point. as the squeeze momentum gave the sell signal to enter the trade. We would then place our entry at the bottom of the trigger candlestick. With our stop loss and take profit level, we see that this trade was a winning one. Okay, here is another sell trade we would have taken. So we see that the price has closed above the moving average. And the price wick was not on the moving average. And we see that the squeeze momentum gave a sell signal, while price action is still above the moving average. Like I said earlier, as long as the moving average is still in red, we are free to place the sell order at the bottom of the trigger candlestick, as our stop loss and take profit levels remain the same. And we see that this trade was another success. Okay, here is another example where we wouldn't have taken a buy trade. So we see that the price closed below the moving average, and our half trend indicator is colored in blue. But when we had our signal from squeeze momentum, we noticed that none of this candlestick that traded at this point closed below the MA, without having its wick on the moving average. Although this was a good trade entry, but we did not take the trade because it is against our strategy setup. So let me give one more example before we move on to our back testing. We see that here we had price close below the moving average, and the next candlestick traded below the moving average before its breakout in an upwards direction. We had to wait for our squeeze momentum signal, which we got here. We then went ahead to place a buy stop order at the peak of the trigger candlestick. Okay guys, let's go ahead and back test this strategy with our account size of $1,000, as the ATR is our indicator for stop loss, while the take profit is 1.8 times the risk. So let's jump right into it. So we just finished the back testing for this strategy, and we can see that the results are fantastic. We had a win rate of 86% in 200 back tested trades, which is one of the high win rate strategy made on this channel. Having won 173 trades and lost just 27, which made us 284% return on investment. And I found those wonderful trade setups within 3 months. Although commissions and spread fees would eat up some of the profit in real trading, because it was not included in the back test. So you definitely want to expect that number to be lower when trading life. The profit factor for this strategy is looking good, I guess. And we had 16 wins in a row against 3 losses in a row. So yeah, I'm definitely happy with these results. Okay traders, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.